Have you ever wondered why some women have this almost magnetic pull where men not only desire them but become utterly addicted to their presence? It's not just about looks or being nice or even doing everything right. It's something deeper, something psychological, emotional, and even a little primal. And the truth is, once you understand how to tap into that energy, you'll never have to chase a man again. He'll be the one pursuing you consistently, intensely, and emotionally. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to unlock that hidden part of you that makes a man think about you non-stop, crave your energy, and feel like no one else compares. These aren't pickup lines or temporary tricks. These are attraction secrets based on real psychology and inspired by the work of Matthew Hussey that get to the root of why men become obsessed, whether you're in a relationship, talking to someone new, or wanting to reignite a spark. What you're about to learn will change the way you see connection and attraction forever. Because when a man feels a unique emotional and sexual pull toward you, one that makes him feel both alive and safe, he doesn't just want to be around you. He needs to be. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand how to create that kind of impact, where your presence lingers in his mind, your energy becomes his addiction, and your connection becomes unforgettable. Let's dive into the kind of attraction that lasts and turns you into the woman he simply can't stop thinking about. Attraction isn't just about how you look, it's about how you make him feel when he's around you. Most people think chemistry is either there or it isn't, but science and experience tell a different story. Attraction can be created, intensified, and deepened if you understand how male psychology works. And it starts with emotional stimulation. A man can be surrounded by beautiful women, but the one who captures his attention long term is the one who activates his emotions in a unique way. She makes him feel seen, challenged, appreciated, and desired all at the same time. One of the most powerful psychological triggers in attraction is uncertainty. Not confusion, but mystery. When a man doesn't have you fully figured out, when he has to work a little to understand your world and your standards, he naturally becomes more invested. Humans crave what isn't easy to access, and men in particular are wired to pursue. That doesn't mean playing games. It means having a life, energy, and presence that doesn't revolve around him. The more emotionally full your life is, the more magnetic you become. That's not something you have to say. It's something he senses. Another core psychological trigger is validation, but not the kind you might think. A woman who gives thoughtful, earned validation creates emotional highs for a man. For example, when you notice something specific and genuine about him, his ambition, the way he protects people, or how he makes you laugh, you're feeding a deeper emotional need. But here's the twist. When that validation comes from a woman who clearly knows her worth, it hits different. He sees you as someone who has standards, someone he wants to impress. That subtle shift from "I hope he likes me" to "let me see if he can rise to meet me" is everything. Now, let's talk about contrast, the combination of warm energy and independence. This duality is irresistible. You can be sweet, fun, nurturing, but you also have boundaries, you're not afraid to say no, and you don't fear walking away if something doesn't align with your value. That contrast keeps a man mentally and emotionally engaged. He's intrigued by you, unsure what to expect next, and that uncertainty activates a deep chase instinct. Again, this isn't manipulation, it's healthy polarity. And finally, one of the most underestimated psychological tools in attraction is emotional mirroring. This is when you reflect back his energy with subtle shifts. If he's playful, you play back. If he opens up emotionally, you respond with vulnerability. That emotional dance creates connection. But when you take the lead in pacing things, by slowing the conversation down, keeping mystery alive, and not rushing intimacy, you anchor the attraction in anticipation, not instant gratification. That's where obsession is born. Attraction psychology isn't about changing who you are. It's about amplifying the most powerful parts of you in a way that speaks directly to his emotional core. And once you understand how that psychology works, you'll never have to convince a man to want you. He'll already be hooked, and he won't even fully understand why. Imagine this, a man meets countless women, but there's one he can't stop thinking about. It's not just her appearance or charm, it's the way she makes him feel. a unique emotional resonance that lingers long after she's gone. This isn't about playing games or feigning disinterest. It's about forging a genuine emotional connection that becomes irresistible. At the heart of this connection is emotional safety. When a man feels he can be his authentic self without judgment, he experiences a profound sense of comfort and trust. This safety isn't about suppressing emotions, but about expressing them in a way that invites openness and vulnerability. As noted by relationship experts, providing a space where a man feels understood and accepted can deepen intimacy and commitment. Another powerful element is emotional mirroring. This involves subtly reflecting his emotions and energy, creating a sense of harmony and understanding. When he shares a joy, you celebrate with him. When he expresses concern, you empathize. This mirroring fosters a deep emotional bond, making interactions feel more connected and meaningful. Mystery and unpredictability also play crucial roles. Maintaining a sense of individuality and not revealing everything at once keeps the relationship dynamic and intriguing. This doesn't mean being evasive, but rather allowing the relationship to unfold naturally, with each layer revealing more depth and complexity. Such an approach can stimulate emotional arousal, enhancing passionate feelings. Shared experiences and novelty can further strengthen the emotional hook. Engaging in new activities together can create lasting memories and deepen the emotional connection. These shared moments contribute to a sense of partnership and mutual growth, reinforcing the bond between you. Ultimately, the emotional hook he can't resist is built on authenticity, empathy, and a willingness to be vulnerable. By creating a space where he feels seen, heard, and valued, you foster a connection that goes beyond the superficial, tapping into the core of emotional intimacy. This depth of connection is what makes you unforgettable, leaving a lasting impression that keeps him coming back for more. Body language is a powerful, often subconscious tool that can significantly influence attraction. Understanding and utilizing certain nonverbal cues can make you appear more magnetic and approachable. Eye contact is one of the most potent signals of interest. Maintaining prolonged, meaningful eye contact can convey confidence and genuine attention. Techniques like the triangle method, where you subtly shift your gaze between a person's eyes and mouth, can create a sense of intimacy and connection. Mirroring is another subtle yet effective form of nonverbal communication. By unconsciously mimicking the gestures, posture, or speech patterns of the person you're interacting with, you can foster a sense of rapport and mutual understanding. Open body posture is inviting and signals receptiveness. Keeping your arms uncrossed, shoulders relaxed, and torso facing the person you're engaging with can make you appear more approachable and engaged. Leaning in slightly during conversations shows interest and attentiveness. Rides. Subtle touches can also convey interest and build connection. Light, non-intrusive touches on the arm or shoulder during conversation can create a sense of closeness and warmth. However, it's essential to be mindful and respectful of personal boundaries. Smiling genuinely can make you appear more attractive and approachable. A sincere smile that reaches your eyes can convey warmth and friendliness, making others feel comfortable and valued in your presence. Facial expressions play a crucial role in nonverbal communication. Softening your facial expressions, such as relaxing your eyebrows and maintaining a gentle gaze, can signal openness and interest. These subtle cues can make interactions more engaging and emotionally resonant. By being aware of and intentionally using these body language cues, you can enhance your interpersonal interactions and create a more magnetic presence. Remember, the key is to remain authentic and responsive to the dynamics of each unique interaction. Words have power, far more than we often realize. The right words, spoken at the right time and in the right energy, can sink deep into a man's mind and create a powerful emotional imprint. While attraction may start with physical chemistry, it's sustained through the emotional and psychological connection that language creates. The way you speak to a man can either make you unforgettable or just another passing moment in his life. If you want to trigger his obsession, you need to know what kind of words actually make a lasting impact. It starts with making him feel seen. Most people go through life without ever feeling deeply recognized. When you use words that reflect something specific about him, not just his looks or achievements, but his mindset, his effort, or how he makes you feel, you're speaking to the parts of him that crave validation but rarely get it. For example, instead of saying, "You're so smart." Try something like, "I love how your mind works." It's rare to find someone who can think like that and explain it in such a clear way. It's subtle but powerful. It shows you're paying attention. That attention makes you different. That difference makes you addictive. Another way to trigger obsession is through language that evokes emotion and imagination. Men, like women, crave emotional stimulation, but most won't admit it. When you speak in ways that create mental images or emotional possibilities, you pull him into a story that feels good to be part of. For example, saying something like, "There's just something about being around you that feels safe and exciting at the same time. I could get used to this." Plants a seed. It makes him imagine a future, a vibe, a connection. That's where desire grows. Flirty teasing is also an underrated superpower. When done playfully and with confidence, teasing creates tension, playfulness, and just the right amount of unpredictability. Something as simple as, "Careful, I might start expecting this kind of attention all the time," or "You're dangerously close to making me fall for you," blends charm with challenge. These statements keep him engaged because they blur the line between confidence and vulnerability, an irresistible combo. And finally, the tone and delivery matter just as much as the words themselves. Softly spoken admiration, a well-timed pause, or a smirk paired with a suggestive phrase all create texture in your communication. Obsession isn't built on logic, it's built on emotion. It's about the feeling he gets when he hears your voice, the way your words linger in his mind, and how you make him feel seen, challenged, and wanted all at once. When you know how to use words that spark curiosity, admiration, imagination, and tension, you're no longer just another woman he's talking to. You become the voice in his head, the connection he keeps replaying, and the energy he starts chasing. If you're trying to build attraction and keep a man hooked, it's not just about what you do right. It's also about knowing what to avoid. There are certain behaviors and patterns that instantly shift a man's energy from, "I want more of her," to, "Maybe this isn't it." These turn-offs aren't always obvious, but they can quietly sabotage the connection you're working so hard to create. Once you're aware of them, you can avoid falling into these traps and make sure you're showing up as your most magnetic self. One of the biggest turn-offs is neediness masters constant availability. When a man feels like you're always waiting around for him, dropping everything the second he texts, or making him the center of your world too soon, it can actually make him pull away. Why? Because it signals a lack of independence. And men are deeply drawn to women who have a life, passion, and energy of their own. Mystery creates desire. Availability 24/7 kills it. Another silent attraction killer is over-validation or over-complimenting. While appreciation is beautiful, when it's given too quickly or too often, especially when it's not earned, it can come across as inauthentic or desperate. It puts him on a pedestal and creates an imbalance. The strongest connections are mutual, where both people feel seen and valued. Let your praise be meaningful and specific, not constant and automatic. Negative energy is also a major repellent. If you're always complaining, gossiping, or focusing on what's wrong in life or relationships, it can drain the vibe. Men are naturally drawn to women who bring peace, fun, or inspiration into their lives. That doesn't mean you have to be fake or overly positive. It just means knowing how to process your emotions without projecting them constantly into the connection. Lastly, trying too hard to impress is a subtle turn-off. Whether it's bragging, overly performing femininity, or constantly seeking reassurance, it can feel like you're not being your real self. The real magic happens when you're grounded, authentic, and unapologetically you. Confidence isn't loud, it's calm, soft, and secure. That's what makes a man lean in and wonder, who is this woman? Avoiding these turn-offs won't just keep the connection alive, it'll amplify it. Because when he sees that you're self-aware, emotionally mature, and not desperate for attention, he'll start chasing you and appreciating you on a whole new level. Goddess energy isn't about being perfect. It's about being powerful in your softness, radiant in your stillness, and magnetic in your self-worth. When a woman embodies goddess energy, she doesn't need to chase, convince, or perform. She attracts. She becomes a force that draws people in effortlessly because of the way she carries herself, speaks her truth, and protects her peace. And when a man feels that energy, he knows he's in the presence of someone rare, someone unforgettable. At the core of goddess energy is deep self-trust. This means you're not constantly second-guessing how you come across or seeking validation from others. You know your worth, and that confidence shows in every word, every movement, every glance. You don't try to prove it. You simply are. And that quiet self-assurance is what captivates the right kind of attention. Goddess energy is also rooted in emotional maturity. You know how to feel deeply without falling apart. You can be soft without being walked on. You understand your emotions, and instead of reacting impulsively, you respond with grace. That emotional stability doesn't just make you more attractive, it makes you a sanctuary in a world full of chaos. A man feels calm, curious, and deeply drawn in your presence. There's also an effortless sensuality that comes with goddess energy. You're in tune with your body, your voice, and your presence. The way you walk, the way you sit, the way you speak. It all reflects a woman who is comfortable in her skin. You don't have to try hard to be sexy. You just are, because you've embraced your feminine power in a way that's authentic and alive. Lastly, a goddess has boundaries. She doesn't beg for love, she chooses it. She doesn't tolerate disrespect, she gracefully walks away from it. She doesn't rush to prove her value, she lets it be seen over time. That restraint, that patience, that quiet confidence, that's what keeps a man chasing. When you live in your goddess energy, you don't just attract a man's attention, you elevate his desire to deserve you. You shift from being someone he likes to someone he respects, craves, and ultimately can't forget. By now, you've unlocked the kind of insights most people go their whole lives without ever fully understanding. You've discovered how attraction goes far beyond surface level looks or charm. It's rooted in psychology, energy, emotion, and presence. When you know how to tap into that deeper level of connection, everything changes. You stop feeling like you have to chase or perform. Instead, you start to magnetize. And that's exactly the power you've been stepping into through this entire video. Let's take a breath and recap some of the key shifts you've learned. You now know how body language, when used with intention, can make you unforgettable without ever saying a word. You understand how to use your voice and words not just to communicate, but to create emotional impact and obsession. You've explored how to build tension without trying, how to avoid silent deal breakers, and how to tap into your inner goddess, the part of you that leads with grace, radiance, and deep self-respect. But knowledge is only powerful when you apply it. So here's what's next. Start experimenting with this energy in real life. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Create it. Practice being fully present in conversations. Let your energy speak before your words do. Stop over-giving and start receiving. Lean into mystery. Let silence build curiosity. Trust that the right person will be drawn to your real energy, not the version you think they want. And if you ever doubt your power, come back to this. You don't need to force anything. You don't need to become someone else. The most magnetic version of you is already there. It's just about unlearning the noise and letting her lead. This is your reminder that you're not here to beg for love. You're here to embody it, to set the standard, to attract a connection that rises to your level, not one you have to shrink for. If this video lit something up inside you, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share your biggest breakthrough in the comments below. I want to hear what hit home for you. And if you're ready for the next level, stick around, because this is only the beginning of becoming the most irresistible, aligned, and empowered version of yourself.